All right. Now we're going to be making the headlines. Now that we have all the descriptions made out, we can begin to go through the headlines. So let's start on the back from headline 14, and we're going to be able to create headlines all the way up to 1. So for these headlines, you essentially want to have about 4 to 5 that have the exact keyword. And then you want the other ones to be different value propositions, benefits, and offers. So Google has different character lengths to work with. So just like how we found the descriptions, we can go into here and find the different headlines. So gain new tech skills. That's a headline right there. That's a benefit. And we can take that benefit and just pop it in here. And so we can see the length, but we also want this to be proper case. Proper. So that it looks professional. So gain new tech skills. And that's a length of 20. And that's fine. You want to test shorter and longer descriptions. And you don't need to put the keyword because we're going to have the keyword in other ones. So since this is works in any ad group, since it's a benefit for the entire company, we can just drag this down. And that's your first headline. And now I can show you another example, kind of going through the same process, like have fun in our dojo. That's a value prop. It could make people want to click. You don't know. This is why we're testing the different ones, just giving them to Google, and they can pretty much test. Have fun in our dojo. That's another one. You can just drag this down. So that's how you do the generic benefits headlines. You kind of just go about it like that. These headline positions here, don't add any numbers. This is if you really want to pin something. But if you pin, just like it says in our template, it stifles the reach of the campaign and it hurts the quality score of the ad. So it's better to allow Google to test and have these just make sense in any format. It's going to be way better in the long run. Okay, now up here, you're gonna these are gonna be ad group specific or branded. So for Coder Kid, since this is very short, you can just put something like looking for coder kids. Something like that, looking for coder kids. So we can have a looking for here, be like coder kids, like find coder kids here. So this is directly answering the search. Find coder kids here. And remember, you can just drag these down. And then I have a bunch of other ones built out here that you can look at here. And then you can have another call to action. Book coder kids online. Stuff like that all works. Um, also here, yeah, I have more of their benefits here. Benefits. If there's any pricing, make sure you put pricing and make the ads as unique as possible with different symbols, pricing, but no exclamation points. So see, I have like different numbers here. And now for over here, we have a location. So essentially with these location headers, I'll put it under here. So I have different recommendations, pricing, fees, call to action, location specific. So whenever you insert this between the bracket, it'll be grabbing the location and you can put like country, city, or region here. So wherever they're searching from, this will pop up. And then here is the filler. If for some reason city can't fit in this ad because it's like a super long name, like they're in Albuquerque, it has to make sense either way. So find a New York City franchise. So that's the headline. Find a New York City franchise. After all that code stuff, after all the headlines and descriptions all work together, it will make sense. And now we want to make sure if it doesn't, so like find a nearby franchise. So that makes sense too. So that's essentially what you want to do. And you can just drag this one down because it works with any of them. And that's a headline you want to test. So basically here I have just like the different ones you need to hit, like promos and discounts, pricing and fees, a call to action one, request more info, benefits. See all this, the benefits, shipping and returns, online availability, products and services, a bunch of ad group specific ones. That's how you want to go through it. And you build out all the headlines to the point where it looks like this. So you have all the headlines here. And you have to do it for every single ad group because you see how these are specific to the ad group. So you need to input that here. So here, for example, I'll show you how to do the find and replace. Do, 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 do. So if we just take this here, this is already built out for us. Um, yeah, I'll just copy this whole thing. And this is for the keyword coding computers for kids. Just paste this in here. Actually, just paste the values. So now that you have those values here, and you have all the headlines built out, you can do this now for something like coding for boys. So these are all built out here. And we want to make sure that this fits on all the lines. So you could do something like just edit these. Ooh. Yeah, so you essentially just want to edit these. Go up here. Boop. So for example, this one's a little longer. So that's fine. This is a good learning example. So this one's asking a question. This fits. Um, And for this, we can just put need need coding for kids. So if it's really long, you can honestly just take out a piece of the keyword and it will Google still understand. So like find coding for kids here. Just remove different aspects and kind of go down the line. So book computer for kids online. And maybe just remove this call to action here. And kind of just like go through here and try to make this fit. Coding computers, kids. You try to fit it in there so it makes as much grammatical sense as possible. This is a tough one since this is such a long keyword. Let's see if there's an easier one here. Yeah. This one would be a little easier because that's a very long keyword. And when you have a long one like that, you just want to fit as much as possible. Um, Coding for kids. So this one. Do this. Like long tail keywords can work great. They're just harder to fit. So you can see here, coding for kids, find coding kids for kids here, blah, blah, blah. As you go down, do you want to make sure all the lengths fit and that it makes sense? And you see the keywords in here. And for some reason, I don't know why I pasted over like that, but you can basically just remove this. And we have all the keywords and everything in here. And that's the basic idea. So now we have this coding for kids. This is actually coding for boys. But that's fine. We can even like swap this out. So you see we made a mistake here for coding for kids, but we know this is the keyword. So all we have to do is drag here, do Control H, coding for kids, and just do coding for boys. And this is a perfect match. So you can see it replaced the 18 instances. And now when you go through, it will have the keyword. Find coding for boys here. Book coding for boys online. Coding for boys programs. And you can see how quickly you can change up the keywords and make it specific to this ad group and everything just using that Control H trick. And you can see these headlines aren't changing because they're not unique to the ad group. And you can honestly just like drag these down. It's great. Yep, so that's the basic idea. And you go through each headline after creating your first initial, and you just go through that Control H, you QA it, make sure it makes sense grammatically, and you read it back to yourself. And before you know it, you'll have all the ad groups made up.